What's up, YouTube? We are back. This is a full breakdown of my entire track season, races, analysis by me, from top to bottom, from indoors all the way to outdoors, everything that happened. As you guys already know, I unfortunately did not qualify for Tokyo Worlds. I was a few spots away, which is heartbreaking for sure, because that was the big goal this year, but there's still so much to celebrate. I know you guys have already watched a lot of the videos that highlighted some of these videos, but a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about today is the insights that you probably didn't get from those videos or from the Instagram posts. So starting at the top of the year, I was unsponsored, and that was a crazy feeling. And I really was at the point where if I wasn't going to be sponsored, I was going to start working full time. And I did my first races both unsponsored, starting with the CU indoor races, mile and 3K. I did this because in previous years, in 2023, before I PR'd in the 5K, I did this exact simulation workout, these races to really prep for it. There's nothing like racing at altitude. It gets you in crazy good shape. So I ran a mile, 4 flat, 0.90. This was a 108-mile week. Didn't taper for these races at all. It was a really hard workout. Got beat by some really good college guys that qualified for NCAAs because of the race. So that was a great experience. And they ran sub 4 for the first time on Colorado soil. So shout out to those guys, Isaiah. And then after that, a few hours later, I ran an 8:13 3K. And I got to run in some Nike spikes for the first time ever. I got the spikes delivered, and I had a friend come bring them for me because I got the notification. And then I wore them for the first time in that race. So I'm done with Adidas. And then right after that, I was very confident, went to Boston, ran 13:13 in a really stacked race. Just a few seconds, 2 seconds off my PB. Went out hard with the pacer, faded a little bit, fought hard, all around, great race. Really set the tone for the season ahead. The following week, I stayed in Boston and I ran a 3K PB in 7:38. This was like the Villanova guys, like big coming out party in the indoor season. This is where Liam Murphy and Marco Langdon both crushed it. I didn't know who Marco was before the race, I'm going to be honest, but I did after because he beat me, and he was just a madman on the starting line, like slapping his face, and I was like, yo, you want me to slap you? And he was like, yeah, hit me. And then he almost was an NCAA champion, and I'm a big fan of him, and like a lot of you guys, I'm sure too. He's a tough kid. But because of this race, I qualified for European Championships and the World Indoor Championships, which I did not expect to do whatsoever this indoor season. I had some bad experiences in China. If you follow me closely, you know this, that the year before I got sent to a hospital because of heat in China. So next thing I know, that race booked my ticket back to China the following year, which I never expected, wasn't on my race calendar. But after this 3K race, I went to Germany in Dortmund and raced a really hard-fought German race against Max and Flo. Got third place, battled hard in that, and then went to the European Indoor Championships in Apeldoorn, Netherlands. And this was an amazing experience because of like the hotel we were staying in. It was like a meditation, like spa center outside. Super nice. And I just barely missed making the final in this. I thought I ran a really strong race against Neil Loras, who just, is probably going to win the World Outdoor title, Tokyo in the 1500. He was in my prelim. Some other Olympic finalists. Yeah, it was absolutely stacked. So even though I was one spot out, 0.2 seconds off of making the final, I knew it was one of like my strongest races of the year, and I was really proud of that effort. And then this is where the wheels started to come off a little bit during the season. Up until this point, that was really strong. I've kind of found in my training that the minute I start to kind of taper off my overall volume and I race too much, I kind of lose that edge in racing. So I very quickly felt that in China. Not sure if it was the travel or what, but found myself in the front, didn't run hard. Jakob passed me with 1K to go, thinking I was in perfect position, but then, man, I just didn't have the wheels at the end. Finished 12th in the world after that race. And then I decided to go to Australia last second, which was the best race experience I had all year, with a very bad race result. Because I've always wanted to go to Australia. I got to walk around, so many amazing places. I went to my first Australian football match, go on Richmond. Loved that whole experience. I ran 13:32 there, got my ass kicked. I felt awful. Travel and just lack of aerobic fitness at that point in the season just really fell off a bridge there. On to the outdoor season. I'm not going to talk too much about these outdoor races because you can go back and watch these videos on my YouTube channel. But yeah, started out the season really strong. I put in such a good training block before this, clicking off 100-mile weeks, double threshold training, just felt so strong. Really excited to race with Drew, Austin, Joey, all at the same meet again. Some OG Tinman Elite vibes for sure, which was awesome. Ran 13:19 in the 5K in the opening race. Pace was just off. I wasn't aggressive early on. And then at like 2.5K, I just realized that this race was going to be so slow unless I just hit the front. So I passed Austin, which was a mistake. I wish I would have just went up to him and been like, dude, start running faster. But, and that definitely hurt me in the long run in terms of like pushing too hard, too early, instead of just like staying confident. So like leading in the middle of a 5K is never something you want to do. So got beat by some great guys. Drew won. That was really exciting. Followed this race up with a LA 5K sound running, 13:15.0. I was really patient in this race. I think I was like 4th place in the race, and that was a really great result because it got me a ton of points for Worlds, and I really thought I was going to have a chance at Tokyo after this race. Like I was set up in the world rankings in the qualifying quota after this race, which was exciting. I was really proud of the race I ran, closed really strong, and yeah, it was a great indicator to what was to come later in the year. Got on a flight to Europe, ran a mile in Berlin with Robert. I just kind of assumed I was going to run like 350 low because I was in a race with a bunch of 350 guys. That was not the case. I felt awful right away, like 600 meters in. I was like, wow, this hurts so bad. I don't know if it was the flight or what, but my legs felt so bad. I ran 356.00 in that race. Had a lot of fun in Berlin with Robert though. And then German Championships. This was a heartbreaker for sure. Got tripped up at the end in this race. I really thought I was going to have a chance for the podium. I just got tripped up and then I like caught my rhythm again, and then my body just like seized up in a really weird way. I really can't explain it, but very embarrassing video of me looking like Captain Jack Sparrow, just flailing around like an idiot, but I was giving it my all, so just got to take it on the chin. And props to those guys for taking on the podium and having the better kicks in those last 100 meters after I kind of took the lead, I think around 600, and hit the front and just like slowly built it up. Still probably the fastest last lap I ran all season, even with the trip up, like 54 seconds, I think around there. So that was great. And then after this race, I went to Belgium in Ortegem. And this race was crazy because it was a huge breakout for so many people. And a lot of these people I raced earlier this year. And this is why afterwards it was such a weird emotional experience, because I ran 13:12.6, outdoor PB, something I'm really proud of to run that. But because there were so many guys that ran like 13:0 something in that race and had big breakouts, I really just had like a bad taste in my mouth knowing that I probably should have been more aggressive and pressed up front, and you know, it's should have, could have, would have game. It's the 3 saddest words you can talk about in your career and with running. It's always easier to have hindsight. Yeah, a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, thinking back at that race saying, I wish I would have just went with 1K to go and not been scared to get dropped or tie up early or any of that stuff. But proud of that race. At this point in time, I knew Tokyo was probably not in the cards, so I ended up staying in Leuven, Belgium for another week because there was a fun 3K opportunity there. The race ended up being really windy and no one had a chance to run fast there. Woody Kincaid won that in like 7:40. I ran 7:44. It was a letdown for sure. And at this point emotionally, I was kind of tapped out. Like I was ready for my season to be over. And last second, I decided to do a 1500 in Germany before flying out. It was very wholesome because I got to stay with Jarl and Margaret. They're not family, but they feel like family to me. They live right by the track in Pfungstadt, Germany, also very close to where my family's from. And yeah, I ran 3:38, nothing to write home about. After a few days of drinking and having fun in Belgium, I was quite surprised, to be honest, from this performance. And then yeah, this is where I got on a flight on Wednesday And as you saw in previous YouTube video, I ran this ridiculous trail race, 15 miles, got my ass absolutely handed to me. And yeah, that was my entire season there. A lot to be proud of in there. Qualifying for Europeans and a world championship indoors, something I'm really proud of. New 3K PB, new outdoor 5K PB. I worked my ass off for those results. So that's something to be proud of for sure. But yeah, falling short of the big goal is a bitter pill to swallow. Obviously, I've dealt with failure before with missing the Olympics this past year, but that's kind of where the beauty in running comes from, is that rarely does it ever work out perfectly, even when there's good things. Like, you always want more, you're always striving for more, and that's where I think you can just grow so much from this sport, and the challenges and the adversity you're constantly faced and the emotions you have to deal with to continue to fight, to continue to be resilient. So yeah, I hope you learned something from these race experiences I had and watching this video, and realize that there's a lot of ups and downs no matter at what level you're at. Had some really bad races this season, some really great ones, and a year of racing I'll remember no matter what. I have no idea what's going to happen now in my running career, to be honest. I don't know what's next for me, what races I want to run, whether that's cross country, a half marathon. I'm working a ton right now on a new tech startup called Faves. Check out my shop below. Yeah, and I'm still working for Tracksmith doing marketing projects, so that's going to take up a lot of my fall, and I don't know the next time we're going to see each other for a race video. It could be a while. So drop in the comments below what race you guys think I should do next. I would really appreciate some feedback. And yeah, I'll pick the favorite race that I think would be fun to do that you guys tell me below. And yeah, I'll send you guys out some raw product. Until next time, thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, support Asa and all his hard work that he puts into these videos. And until next time.